Good day and welcome back to the Vitality Project. I'm Dr. Bob. Thanks for joining me here today. Yesterday we explored how it is that we might begin to get ourselves back, especially when we think of this in terms of getting ourselves back from serious addiction, whether that be to substance or other behaviors. I wonder how it went for you. I gave you an exercise to consider where you just do some self-reflecting on your own experiences of times that you may have gotten a toehold or a little bit of success under your belt in reducing various addictive behaviors in your life. What'd you find out? But I want to ask another question, and that is this. Why is it so important, after all is said and done, for us to make headway in managing and maybe even over time eliminating some of our worst, most self-defeating behaviors like addiction? Why is it so important? I want to introduce over the next few posts this week what happens to our bodies and brains in any form of active addiction. I believe that once we've done a good job of that, is that it'll get clearer and clearer to us how much we want to take a long, hard look at any of our various addictions and do everything we can to heal them. I think that information will be very powerful incentive. One piece that we've just discussed that has to do with incentive is the shame that goes with being addicted. Is there a way that we could lift the burden of shame? We've talked about this, that in addiction, others blame us and we blame ourselves. And as we've explored in the last several weeks, blame and shame lead to a freeze response in our brains. And what happens there is we actually become paralyzed in terms of making any kind of forward progress. So one piece of getting into recovery from our addictions and finding sobriety in a sustained way is we might be relieved of that huge burden. But let me ask another question, and that is this. What would solid, scientifically based information provide us in this conversation about looking towards recovering from addiction? Would that information be enough on its own to make or keep us sober? And even if that's too far of a leap in terms of optimism, might that same information, scientifically based information on addiction recovery, might it give us a significant leg up on any of our addictive behaviors? So for today, what I'd like to do is invite each one of us to take a few moments and jot down that which you already know by heart about addiction. For example, the effect of addiction on our bodies and brains, or how it originates to begin with, or what keeps it going, or what it takes to permanently lick addiction. I want you to put on your scientific thinking hat and journal for a few minutes about what you already know about addiction recovery. And what we'll be doing these next days is using that as a springboard into further discussions as we begin to explore ways of getting underneath addiction, understanding it, and hopefully transforming it into a life of recovery and ideally a life of vitality. Speaking of vitality, thank you for coming to join me today here at the Vitality Project. I appreciate you taking the time. I hope that you'll stay safe and be well, and please come back and join me again tomorrow or as soon as you can. I'd love to have you.